The airport lounge buzzed with the usual soundtrack of rolling suitcases, half-awake travelers and distant announcements. But Eleanor Carrington barely noticed any of it. She sat rigidly in a corner booth, the expensive charcoal gray pantsuit she wore looking sharper than her eyes felt after 3 sleepless nights. Her jet black hair, usually pinned into a perfect executive bun, spilled over her shoulders in loose waves, an unintentional sign of how close she was to hitting emotional burnout. Her fingers tapped anxiously against the side of her coffee cup as she watched her daughter, Lily, draw patterns on the foggy window with a tiny finger. Lily was 7 years old, with big hazel eyes framed by a messy fringe. She never spoke. She hadn't spoken since the accident, the one that took her voice and her father at the same time. 2 years of therapies, experts, and specialists hadn't brought even a whisper from her. She communicated only with small gestures, scribbles, or the softest sighs that seemed to say everything and nothing at once. But today she was restless. Her tiny, sneakered feet bounced against the leg of the chair, and her hands moved repeatedly in small motions that Elena couldn't interpret. "I know, sweetheart," Elena whispered. "We'll be home soon. I promise." But it wasn't soon. Their flight was delayed another hour. Maybe 2. Across the room, a tall man with worn jeans, a faded navy hoodie, and a travel backpack over one shoulder stood with his young son. He had the kind of quiet confidence that didn't come from money, but from surviving things much harder. His dark blonde hair was messy, his jawline unshaven, and his eyes warm, too warm for someone who looked so tired. His name was Noah Brooks, though Elena didn't know that yet. All she saw was another father traveling alone with a kid, a father who looked like he actually slept more than 4 hours a night, unlike her. His son Ethan, around 9 years old, tugged his sleeve. "Dad, can we sit?" "My legs hurt." "Of course, buddy," Noah answered, ruffling his hair. "Let's find a spot." They sat at a table near Eleanor's booth. Not too close. Not too far. Just close enough for Lily to notice the boy and freeze mid-drawing. She stared at him with an expression Elena hadn't seen in months. Curiosity. Ethan noticed her too, offering a tiny wave. Lily didn't wave back, but her fingers twitched in a motion Elena didn't recognize. "You can say hi, sweetheart," Elena murmured, guiding Lily's hand. Lily pulled back immediately. Elena sighed under her breath. "I'm trying, baby. I'm really trying." She didn't notice Noah watching, subtly, respectfully. He didn't mean to stare, but he recognized the frustration, the helplessness, because he had lived through a version of it after his wife passed away 3 years ago. Raising a child alone meant learning a new language of love every day, mostly through exhaustion, sacrifice, and guesswork. Ethan leaned closer to his dad. "Why is she moving her hands like that?" "Maybe she's signing," Noah whispered. "What's signing?" "Sign language." Ethan blinked. "You know it, right?" "Yeah, a bit," Noah smiled faintly. "Enough to make a conversation if she wants one." Elena overheard the tiny part of their whisper, but her brain was too foggy to process it. She pulled out her phone, scrolling through. A list of emails from her board, members, deadlines, contracts, crises, being the youngest female. CEO of a Fortune 500 company didn't leave room for rest, grief, or patience. But Lily needed all 3, and Elena was failing her. A sudden movement made Elena look up. Lily had left her seat and now stood right in front of Ethan's table. She didn't speak, didn't wave, didn't smile, just stared at the boy as if he held the answer to something she couldn't articulate. "Sweetheart," Elena stood quickly, embarrassed, but before she could reach her, Noah gently lowered his phone and knelt in front of Lily. He lifted his hands, and he signed. "Hi, my name is Noah. Are you okay?" Elena stopped mid-step. Lily froze. Her tiny eyes widened. They weren't used to being understood. Slowly, hesitantly, Lily lifted her hands and signed back with small, trembling motions. "I'm Lily. I'm scared. Too many people." Elena's breath caught. "Lily?" Noah looked up at her, his expression soft. "She's not trying to run away. She's overwhelmed." You know sign language?" Elena asked, stunned. "Yeah." He nodded, still crouched at Lily's height. "My sister is deaf. I grew up speaking ASL more than English." Lily clung lightly to Noah's sleeve, not out of fear, but because he was the first person in months to understand her without translation. Her small fingers moved again. "The noise hurts. My head hurts." I don't want Mommy sad. Tears stung Elena's eyes. Lily rarely communicated more than a word or two at a time, and now full sentences. She hasn't signed full thoughts in over a year, Elena whispered. Noah's face softened even more. Sometimes kids open up with someone new. No pressure, no expectations. Elena sank into the chair beside them, overwhelmed by emotion she couldn't contain. I've done everything. I've hired therapists, speech, trauma, child development, but she never opened up. You're doing your best, Noah said gently. Kids feel when love is heavy, not light. When it's tired. When it's scared. I am scared, she admitted, her voice cracking. All the time. Noah nodded with quiet understanding. He placed a hand on his knee and signed again for Lily. You're very brave. Flying is hard. Crowds are loud. But you're safe. You did nothing wrong. Lily's eyes welled with tears. Then she stepped forward and wrapped her arms around Noah's neck. Elena pressed her hand to her lips, trying not to sob. Ethan watched quietly, then smiled. Dad makes everyone feel safe, he said proudly. Noah chuckled softly. I try. Over the next half hour, the four of them talked. Well, 3 talked. And 1 signed, like an unexpected little family formed between departure gates. Noah learned that Elena had been flying from state to state for emergency board meetings, that she had been trying to keep the company stable while giving Lily a normal life and failing at both. Elena learned that Noah was a mechanic at a private aviation company, that he worked nights after his wife died, that he was flying home for his sister's wedding and had been saving for months. And slowly, Lily crawled into Ethan's chair, the 2 kids sharing a coloring app on his tablet, laughing silently. For the first time in years, Elena saw her daughter live like a child. When their flight began boarding, Lily clung to Noah again, signing quickly. Don't go. It's quiet near you. Mommy needs you. Elena felt her breath falter at the second sentence. She said, I need you? She whispered. Pretty much, Noah answered softly. Elena knelt beside her daughter. Sweetheart, Noah has to go to his own family. Lily shook her head wildly and signed at lightning speed, panic in every movement. Mommy is tired. Mommy cries when she thinks I'm sleeping. Mommy forgets to eat. Mommy wants to help me, but she's breaking. Elena broke into tears instantly. Lily, baby, you shouldn't have to carry that. She wasn't just failing as a CEO. She was failing as a mother. Noah moved closer, lowering his voice. Elena, if you ever need someone who understands the kind of silence you're fighting, I'm around. No obligations, no expectations. That's very kind, she whispered, wiping her eyes. He reached into his pocket and wrote his number on the back of his boarding pass. Call me if she needs someone to sign with, or if you just need 5 minutes where someone else holds the world for you. Lily tugged Noah's sleeve one last time. Promise you'll see us again? Noah signed back, his hands steady and warm. I promise. You're not alone anymore, either of you. When he walked toward his gate, Lily reached for her mother's hand, not weakly, not fearfully, but with a trust Elena hadn't seen in so long. Why her? Elena whispered to herself. Why did she open up for him? A quiet voice answered behind her. Because sometimes, Noah said before he disappeared into the crowd, the right person speaks the language your heart forgot. Elena held Lily tightly, tears running freely now. And for the first time in a very long time, the weight she carried felt just a little lighter. As their flight finally boarded, Lily rested her head against her mother's shoulder, calm and safe. She signed slowly, softly. Mommy, we can be okay now. Elena kissed her forehead. Yes, baby, we can. And somewhere across the terminal, Noah and Ethan boarded their plane too, unaware that this moment, accidental and ordinary on the outside, would become the beginning of something none of them expected. Not just healing, not just connection, but the first chapter of a new life. A life where silence wasn't a prison, but a language. A life where love spoke with hands, eyes, and small miracles in crowded airports. A life they would build together, one sign at a time,